Greetings, welcome to day 64 of Project Dig. Thank you for joining. Let me open up this page. Here we go. Project Dig is a 2D multiplayer automation survival sandbox game being developed here entirely on Twitch. The VODs are being uploaded to YouTube. We're making a custom C++ game engine here using these libraries. We're currently working on trying to wrap up the Lua scripting support for our UI. We've made a lot of progress on it. It's been a ton of work. I think today's like day 7, 6 or 7, I think 7, working on the UI. So yeah, we've spent a lot of time, 7 out of 64. So we spent over a tenth of our development on just the scripting UI stuff. And I think we spent like 6 days on the UI before that. So we have at this point spent, I think, more time on the UI than anything else. Yeah, by a large margin. UI. It's a lot of work. But anyways, let's kind of keep working on the UI, try to figure out what we need to do to wrap it up. I'd like to try to finish it today, so that way we can kind of move on with our lives. So right now, we're having some challenges with the UI. I'm not sure exactly what I need to do with this. So the current problem is that, let's see here we go. I don't know how to pass in an argument or like a function to our UI. So I was thinking what I might try doing is saying sole object, and then at this point, just like maybe we could try breaking object, and perhaps we can do something along the lines of what do I want? Callback, get type. What will that do? That's a sole type. I don't know, just something like that. Let's try doing that. And it does mean that we need to go to our utility sole and say this is object. Okay, we'll try this. So yeah, we're trying to pass in this function to our event UI and say, hey, I want this Lua function to be called when this event is invoked. And we're having some difficulties there. What is it doing? It's still compiling. Okay, let's build once more. Do you think the effort you put into the UI will be easily transferable to the next game you make after Dig? Yeah, I think so. I mean, the hope is that I will be able to reuse this game engine. I made a game engine before this one called for Korea. And I spent like 2 months or something working on, I think it's like a little over 2 months working on it, and I was working on it a lot, like 8+ hours a day. And I was able to take that and pull it over into Project Dig, and I think it only took me like 10 days or something. Plus also I'm having to do all this binding stuff, trying to get that figured out. Honestly, a large part of the time I've spent on doing the UI scripting, it was spent on kind of a more generic Lua Python script that exposes our C++ classes as Lua user types, and that that was probably like half of the time we've spent so far. So yeah, I mean the goal is that I can do this, and then in the next game I don't have to worry about the UI whatsoever. I should say the UI code, like lower level code. So I just have to say, okay, well, how do we want the UI to look? Let's implement the actual UI, not the like source code, like the systems that's driving the UI itself. That should all be good, done. Won't have to worry about it again. Okay, so I think changing the event header file makes it so I have to recompile a lot. Because it does. Because everything is using element in the UI, and the element uses the event UI. Yeah, it sucks. And then event, yeah, it sucks. I kind of regret things already. Almost done, I believe. Excellent. Yeah, it just takes so long to compile. I know I keep like whining and complaining about that. It just feels so bad. Okay, so no matching function call takes this number of arguments and the specified types. But still complaining. Listen. Even though I'm overloading it with that. That doesn't make sense to me. So it says this is user data function. And it's complaining about this. So like all of this is right, it seems. Isn't it? I don't know about that. So does it complain about this if I do... Let's try that. Function arguments expect in your... Oh, maybe that's what I'm doing wrong. I think this might be my issue. Hold up, let me try that. Oh, I think I figured it out. I think I finally realized what the issue was. But now it's complaining about something else. Okay, so I think I finally understand what's going on. This dot needs to be used for member functions, or sorry, member variables and static functions or functions that aren't being called. But if you are calling a function that is a member function, so you want to be passing in this or whatever self, then you need to use the colons. And so like I was using a dot here, but that's wrong because then that will be calling it without passing in self. So it's basically like a static function, which is wrong because it's expecting two arguments, this and then the argument. And so I need to do it exactly like that. Yeah, so this is mostly just chalk it up to me not understanding this system that well. So yeah, now what I can do, and I'm gonna have to recompile it all anyways. I'm gonna get rid of this soul object. I don't think it was even being added in here, which is why, or it's, I don't know, there's something up. Let's go ahead and delete that now. Go back to having a single function. We'll just go, I don't know what happened there. It just went away. What the heck was that about? Okay, so it should all be good now. If we go back to this, we'll see, yeah, it's much simpler. Okay, so now our goal is to get this working. Let's try setting a breakpoint here in the listen. Unfortunately, we have to recompile again. While this is recompiling, let's take a look at what else we're going to need to do. So I guess really what we're just trying to do is get this all set up and working. Yeah, I guess it would be just trying to get everything set up. Mostly it's the callbacks. Yeah, so I think that's just our goal right now is trying to get this test UI implemented, and then we should be fine. What does all this commented out code do? It was what we had in our C++. I need to convert it over into the Lua code. So yeah, originally we had all this UI stuff being tested in C++, and so it's just, yeah, that code. But now it needs to be converted into Lua, and there's a lot of like code that doesn't quite work here. So I actually have a lot of places that are wrong. Like this button needs to be dot onActivate, dot onActivate. That's fine. Paragraph, these are going to be create now. Like all these are create, I think. Well, not all of the .news, but a lot of them. I guess one thing we could do is just like click, that's not one, that is one, that's one, that's not one, that's not one, that's one, that's not one. Oh, whoops, actually that panel one is There we go. All of those need to be .create since we changed it. So yeah, what it does is like this creates the XP bar, and then we have a button on activate that says whenever you click that button, it will change the progress bar and play a sound effect. And then we have another button down here, which is a deny, and whenever you click it, it just plays a deny sound effect. As a test paragraph, test edit label, and then a scroll list that you can scroll through. That's it. Not much. All right, let's try this out. Cool. As a function, Lua func callback. The Lua function, nice. That is good. Excellent. So then we return the ID if we ever wanted to like cancel it or anything. And then that can like pop the stack. Yeah, so we can just go out of that. One thing I want to do is go to button set text. See if that gets called. Dang, so it's breaking here. I don't know what the issue is. This is the on activate. So it tries to call it event iter args. I don't know what the actual issue is though. It just says unhandled exception. Oh, dang. That's nasty. I have no idea what the issue is. Is it expecting? Maybe I'm supposed to be returning something here. I don't think that's it, but I mean, maybe. Now the UI is just gone. Attempt to call field create. Oh, whoops. Wait, what is broken on 11? So it's complaining about. Oh, whoops. No. This needs to be new. That's what I did. I didn't see I changed that one. Okay, there we go. Dang. I don't know what is wrong. I guess the first thing maybe we can try doing is getting rid of that and just having return. So it's a pretty basic function. To see if it's being able to call that. So I'm not trying to do anything. I don't think it's actually calling it though. Oh, maybe it is. Aha. Oh. I had that wrong. There we go. Hey, it's working. Okay, so I think what I need to do is add in dang, how should I do that? Invoke. Yeah. So we can get rid of that. I don't know. Do I want to get rid of that? Maybe that would be a good thing to have. Is like soul functions. Maybe I should do that. I wonder if which one it would call. Soul function. Because if we did do that, then we would know that this is a soul function and we could treat it differently. Like we could do a soul safe function result. Does that mean that these need to be safe functions? Safe function. Is there another way to do this? I kind of don't like having to treat this so differently. But what I'd kind of like to be able to do is have it so that I can call this function and be able to get any error messages that occur. But the thing is that I don't know if it's actually a Lua function or not. So all safety's on. So that's kind of nice. I can do that. Safe function. All protected function. Um, I still don't know how I would know if this is a sol function or not. But yeah, like, so one possible solution is to do it like this, where I say, oh, this is a sol callback, right? Or I guess it's a sol function. Sounds like I can just do a sol function, and if I want the safety, I can turn that on. This is sol callbacks. And then we have to have, the thing that sucks is that I have to like add in other checks for this stuff. Well, like for this one, I need to, you know, do the same thing where it's like, oh, now we have to treat the sol callbacks differently, right? Just because it has this is different. I wonder if we could do that some other way. How do we have the safety again? Save script. I should have looked at this before. Yeah, so errors, maybe that when running scripts. Safe script variants. There's also an error callback that is called. Yeah, so I think what I need to do is call it separately, and like, I don't think I can get a sol function from a standard function. But what I would like to do is be able to do that, so that way if there's an issue like what I had before, I actually see it. Hey, Apple Juice, 5 months? Welcome back to the siege. Is the alert broken? No, I have it disabled just so that way I don't have like pop-ups on the stream. Since I'm uploading the VODs. Sorry, I was like super focused there. But thank you for the continued support. I really appreciate it. Five months, that's pretty good. Pretty good. Hey, thank you very much. Why is the stream sound not working for you? Yeah, sorry, I don't know. It sounds like it's only working on your speakers. Not sure. Glad you got it working at all. Okay, so yeah, I think we just need to do something like this where we treat it differently. I've done this in a few places now, like we can go to our UI manager. I'm calling some functions in here and I want to do it safely, so this is the way we are doing it. I wonder if that is actually the best way. I think I'll do it the other way. There's another way we can do it. Protected function result. Safe or protected. I guess if it fails, then we probably want to error. And then maybe erase it at that point. So the return result is if we should keep it or not. So true means keep calling this callback. I think that's it. Oh, and then I want to say, what is it? It's something like sole error. And we just not cast it. What do we do? I think we just take the result and cast it to an error, and that will be able to tell us what the error message is. So we can do like callback error. So let's try this out and just see if we can get that like yelling at us properly. So we need to do the same thing for now both the sole callbacks as well as the normal callbacks. Fortunately, it's really easy. It's just kind of duplicating the code, really. Oops. Okay, that looks good. And then this is good. Looks like it. What is .hpp? It's how I split things up. You don't have to do it this way. Hey, Zetron. So what I do is I have the header files, the .h files include the definition. The source files is, or CPP files are the source files, the implementation. And then we have the HPP, which are the implementation for the templated classes or functions. So anything that's templated, so it should live in like a header file, then I put the implementation in the HPP file, which is kind of like between a header and a source file. That's just how I do it. So that way, if I only need to know the implementation, or sorry, the definition and not the implementation, then I can include the header file. And if I need both, or if I need the implementation, so I'm actually using it, then I include the HPP file. Yeah, it's something I picked up at my old day job, like from 10 years ago, and it just always made sense to me. And I'm like, that's nice. I like to keep that clean. Okay, so we need to build that again. And if we look at this, we should now once again see that it has these two. That's right. Let's go ahead and build. callback. Doesn't know what that's coming from. Oh, dang, that needs to be event UI, huh? I think that's the first time I've ever ran into that. I have to come up with a fix for that. No. It's because since it's templated, I actually need to have it be using inside of here. I guess what I could do is, like, one fix I think that would work is to actually just have it say event UI. Oh, sorry, that doesn't make sense. Never mind. Because it's unique depending on the event. Dang. Probably the best solution is to just say if it's inside of a class, I need to have it be in that class. And if it's a templated thing, then it needs to be for the name. Yeah. Oops, I saved right while I was trying to load that or something. We have to... Okay, I guess we should try to fix this. This is gonna take a while. Or maybe I won't. Or maybe while it's compiling, I'll try to fix this. So it's compiling. Let's look at our Lua expose, which is doing all of that. So at one point in here, we do pull out the using stuff, right? Using, oh, I guess it's actually down here now. All right, now I think it just looks for the using, right? Or maybe it's using parser. There we go. Yeah, we have this using parser. Here's the user type parser where it is doing that. And it has the template usings. What if this is falling into a template using or user type using? But one thing we could do is, along with this, like at this point, we are actually parsing it for a user type. So maybe I could just like say, hey, you need to append the user type with that user type using. I think it might be hitting the first one because it's a template. It's gonna have brackets. So it's a template using, right? Which I think will just say that, hey, this is technically a sole. Yeah, this is going to say it's a std function with the template, or it's templated, I think. And that it's a callback. So this result group 1 is callback, and result group 2 is the second part. Actually, we cut off some of it. I think we're only taking... Really? Okay, I might need to look at that some more. It seems a little odd. Maybe I need to put like an if. If callback inline PDB there. What's this line? So that's the line. Actually, I want to continue. Line. Okay, I need to be more specific. Callback is equal using callback equals Okay, so here's our line. Result. So it didn't find a result for that. Result. So there we go. So actually it's not matching the template one. It's only matching the second one. So then if we step down, we have result group 1, which is callback, and 2 is std function. So all we really care about here, well, so that's the tricky thing, is that I might need to have a new thing in here. Yeah, so I mean, really the problem is that I have no concept of like scopes or namespaces. And so in this case, it's inside of that like class scope or namespace, whatever. I guess it's scope. So we have to specify that scope. Like it needs to be event UI in this case. And that's really the problem. Okay, let's go ahead and run this just to see if it's working now. Oh yeah, we know that's working. What I wanted to try is, so we'll come back to this in a few. Let's change this back to be button. There we go. So it's still failing. Let's actually go up. I'm curious. Oh yeah, look, it's getting added as a normal callback, not as a sole function. So there's no way to even distinguish those two. I guess what I could technically do is only expose this one. Maybe that's what I'll do. So if I get rid of that one, then, oh, that actually solves my problem. Okay, cool. So then we don't need to worry about it right now. Because we won't be using it. What is it doing? I'm trying to save and it keeps trying to, is my key sticking? Why are you doing that? It's so weird. Oh, it's because it's being used by that. My bad, my bad. Should have realized. Yeah, if the file is currently being used, then it goes to save as. But it doesn't tell you that it failed to save it as that file. It just prompts you to save it as something else. Okay, so if we do that, then that means that I can get rid of this one here. This will actually cause issues itself, because right now I don't think we support overloading a single function. Like it will only try to resolve it as an overload if there are multiple functions being exposed with that same name. But in this case, it's overloaded, but we only have one of them being exposed. So what could I do to fix that? The easiest thing would be to rename the listen or the other one. Like I could call it handle or Lua listen. I don't like calling it something like Lua listen because then that's what it's going to be exposed as. I guess one thing I could do maybe is say like, hey, if something is ever prefixed with like Lua underscore, then it chops that off. So, you know, if it has this, it will expose that function as, it will expose it one way, but then the name itself will just be listen. So it takes off that prefix. But that's only useful for cases like this. So don't really like it. There's probably a better way to do this. I mean, one thing is, yeah, actually, I don't know. Listen. I guess one thing I could do is make a new thing in here. That's actually I like this the most, which Lua Func and just say overloaded, and that will make it so it is always overloaded. I would say that's the best way to do it. Yeah, I think we could go that route. I don't know what we want to do with this. We'll come back to that at some point in the future when we actually need it. Right now, let's just focus on getting done what we need. Okay, so for that overloaded, what I think we'll do, we have functions, we have virtual, we can now have a flag called overloaded. It's gonna be in here, right? Func specializations, signature. Yeah, here we go. So if it has more than one signature, or if the func is overloaded, that works. And then down here, all we just need to do is whenever we detect a function, Lua Func. What if we have Lua Func return the function, user type func, and then I can have something like this. It's overloaded. Func overload. I think I'll just do overload. And all it needs to do is this. But we want to say user type func is equal to that. And then we want to set overload equal to true. That's it. I think that's good. So it automatically detects if it's overloaded or not, but if it doesn't know, then like if we only expose one of the overloads, then, or one of the functions, then, hey, there we go, nice. Yay! So that's what we were going for, exactly that. Attempt to index global button a nil value. It's because we have the wrong name here. This needs to be element. And so if I'm right, we should be able to save this and it should reload the UI. And then if I click on it, oh, it didn't reload it. Why is it not reloading it? I thought it was doing that. Let me go look at that. Style sheet, yeah, it should be breaking right here, right? Ew. Oh, it looks like it's hitting an error or something. Let me see exactly where. Attempt to index local header. It seems like it gets messed up. Maybe it's because we're calling this create named table. And it's not, like, it's reusing that. Create named table. Is there a way to, like, destroy a table or something? Or clear it? Would be the best way to do that. I think there's like a get or what was that? Get or create. I think that's what it was called. I see. Okay, so maybe not. Okay, so I can do that. That forces table creation. Equivalent and more flexible. Spark getter create soul table, soul new table. Equivalent but less efficient. I see. So I guess really what I should be doing is something more like this. Get or create. UI table. UI table. Actually, yeah, so I mean we technically use it down here, so we might as well do that here. And this is the Lua state. Oh, oops, I just want to call this UI, not UI table. And then UI table, can I clear it? Clear, perfect. So if it already existed, then we just want to clear it out. And now we don't need that since we're going to have it up here. So let's try that. So what we're going for is that we'll try running it. It's going to fail whenever we click this button because the button variable doesn't actually exist. It fails. It's a nil value. Then we can go over into here and say, oh, whoops, let's fix that element. Save it. It should then load it up properly. Hopefully this is right, and that was what the issue was. We'll see here in just a moment. Dang, it's still running into an issue. Attempt to index local header user data value. Index local header. Hey Cooler, how's it going? Header. That's what this is. So basically it's trying to like create it and it's failing. I don't understand why it's failing again. Is this local thing wrong? Am I just supposed to do it like that? So this is me not really knowing Lua that well. Oh, whoops. Yeah, see, it's failing again. I don't get that. Attempt to index global header. Now it's global header. It says on line 12, right? Line 18. Oh, wait. Has it always been that line? Okay, hold up. Let me... So we saved it again. It's line 18. Oh, yeah. Interesting. Let me try once more. I was thinking it was up higher, but maybe not. No, now it says 11. Yeah, attempt to index local header. Oh wait, no, it's on line 18. Oh, 11 is the function that it's calling. So yeah, it's trying to use it here and it's failing. I don't get why though, because we have this stuff up here, right? So why would it only fail down here? Index local. We want to be able to do... Is it because of this right here? That must be it. But why does it work up here but not over here? Like that's going to fail, right? Let me reload once more. I'm pretty sure that just fails. Yeah. Yeah, then it complains with that issue. Well, if it fails to load the first time, then I have to reload the game. That kind of sucks. Maybe I should change that. Okay, so I'm curious. Let's go to element group. Look for the associate function. Let's see if it calls this whenever I save. It does. You can see it's the header. Okay. I don't get that. Why is it failing though? Attempt to index local header. There must be something weird going on with this. like that this like it already exists or something. Maybe what we can do is print it. I'm pretty sure it's just going to say that it's a user type. I think that one's the top one, yeah. And then if we save it, it will complain, right? Oh, let's continue. Yeah, it says it's a user data, and then it says attempt to index local header. Yeah, okay. I want to be able to do slide image. You have to modify new carousel so that it returns a table with a function inside it. Really? I have to do it like that? That doesn't seem right. I don't understand this. I don't really get it yet. Lua's being weird about this. Like, it sounds like it doesn't like me having this local here. Seems weird, right? Type. The weird thing is that it seems like it works to some degree. I just want to try something out here. I use it. Attempt to index up value. Better. What does that mean? External local variable. Yeah, okay. I honestly don't get this. I wonder if it's my actual code or if it's how I'm trying to run it that is being weird. I want to try something else. New index into this object. I like really don't get Lua sometimes. I had this working at one point, right? Let's try getting rid of that stuff, so it's just this. So that works. It's just as soon as I try to use the header, it breaks. Right? That's whenever it starts complaining. Attempt to index local I just don't get that error message. So the weird thing is that this part works, like the add, it's just the setting that's not working right. The add. Ah. I have seen that one. Yeah, I'm using that. It's like it's pretending like I'm not doing that. What do you use that diagnostic session for? What do you mean? This thing here? Or what? Oh, this over here. Oh, sorry, I see. Right now I'm not using it for anything, but you can use it to track like your CPU profiling so you can see exactly what it's doing. You know, you can profile it. And then you can even look at like where it's spending its CPU time within functions and everything. Yeah. Hey, Mr. Dozable. Just dropped in, so I haven't seen much of a stream, but I saw there was a comment on a Sol thread saying you cannot arbitrarily assign values to user type objects. You need to provide Sol meta function index and Sol meta function new index implementations if you want to be able to do that. Do you have an index, a new index method on the user data? I do not, but this shouldn't. And I guess that's maybe what I could try doing. Is this shouldn't be a new thing. If I do type add, we can look at that and see what it says. But it shouldn't be a new like value. So it says it's a function. I go save. It says user data, and now it's saying again that attempt to index local header, and now it's on line 19, which is right here. So it doesn't like me trying to use that. Okay, can I do a, what was it? It's like 4 key or KV pairs header. do print v. Wait, what was that? I saw someone actually mention this just a bit ago. One of these. Here we go. Print kv. We can try that. KV in pairs. It doesn't like that. In expected near pairs. Oh, I missed that. That's what it's saying. And come on. Add argument to pairs. It doesn't like this. Table expected got user data. Oh, how do I get all of the stuff, all of the things within a user data? I hate Lua, yeah. Is add a method, so you should use colon not dot? Yes. Only when you're calling it though, right? There must be a way to be able to query all of the like values on it, right? Any C# fans? Yeah, I like C#. Well, I can try, even if I try this, so like we can get rid of this and just do colon, which is what I was trying to do there. And then we can just reload it. Yeah, it just says function arguments expected near that, because it's expecting us to be calling this. But if I use a dot, then it actually works. So that's actually one thing I have kind of figured out, is if you're calling it, so basically if you do a colon, it's expecting there to be some function call because it's trying to pass in self as the first parameter. If you use a dot, then it's treating it as if it's a member variable. And so that means it's like a function. So if you want to like give it to someone, then yeah, I don't quite get that, but it does say here, like we see function. So that works, but as soon as we try to save it again, suddenly, so we haven't changed anything. It's like, oh, I can't use header now. It's it says attempt to index local header. And I don't get that. That's the thing that's like broken and is being super annoying. Okay, so one thing I should actually be changing is this. I should change this to be view. That won't make a difference though. It shouldn't. We go back to here and then try to save it. It's going to have an error message again. Yeah. Right there. Which is the same thing if I try to use that here. So like it just doesn't like this, which is making me wonder if like maybe the user type is wrong or something. I guess we could try doing something like this. Local header. Header. Hey, I think that fixed it. Wow, seriously? Element and user data. Now it doesn't like that. It's kind of doing the same thing. Okay, so I think what's happening is that whenever I'm calling this get object, it's messing up. This right here, which is a make object. So there's something wrong with this that is causing it to behave incorrectly. Like it's not being able to convert it properly or something. This was my solution too. No. I feel like I should join the Discord for Soul or something and see if I can get some answers. Maybe from like the developer himself or something. Like I didn't like this solution, but I felt like I guess I liked it to some degree. Hey, the gel, what's up? I don't know what's wrong with this though. Can I do that? This state. Full struct. How does that work? Lua state? No, I don't. Never mind. I thought I guess I didn't understand how that actually works. So how are we going to do this? Where it gets the state and allows us to actually do stuff with it. The weird thing is that it works the first time, and then after that, it starts to break. I'm curious if there's something weird going on with the, like, Lua state. Like, maybe we could do this, where... Let's just try this for right now. Every single time we are reloading, we actually will create a new state. Can we do that? Can I just set it? I think so. Let's try this. So just right here, we can say we get the state, and then we do Lua state. is equal to a Sol state. Can we initialize a new one, or does it not like that? Looks like maybe I can. Let's try it. Sounds like some fun. Redefinition. Oh, whoops. Oh, I guess we could just do it like that, right? We're already being passed in a reference. So we'll just do that, where we like create a new state. Because it seems to work the first time. I don't know if I want to do this, if I should. It seems like I can't. Probably because I'm recreating the state or doing a new state. Kind of in the middle of it, huh? I don't get this. I think I need to ask the developer, honestly. So what exactly is going on here? Just trying to formulate what I can inquire. It's so involved, though. So what appears to be the issue is whenever we are calling Lua and we're passing in an object, if we make an object and give it, so we call Sol make object, and we give that to Lua, it runs into this issue where it says attempt to index local variable user data value, and I don't know why. It seems to work the first time we run it. So with the clean Lua state, it works. But as soon as we try to rerun this code, the script again, it encounters this issue. So yeah, we're just calling this, if we go over to our source code, and here we have a get object function that returns the UI get state, which is right now just some static or like, yeah, global Lua state. And we make an object out of this. And that is what's causing issues. I wonder if it's because of this Sol object, or I don't think so. That seems to have been working in the past. I'm not sure. So that's the question, is why is this running into an issue here? Attempt to index local element. I don't know. Besides that, though, things seem to be working fairly well. That's pretty cool that there's an index and new index meta methods. I hadn't really realized that before, but that actually is quite powerful. It means that we can do some really cool things. Like I did that in Kriya with my Python functions where I can, like one case I used it for was whenever I'm setting up my components, I was able to automatically create the component the first time I try to like do a new index. So if I said something like, hey, let's set the physics component velocity to 5. This is while setting up the prefab. If the physics component didn't exist, it would create it, and then would properly allow me to set the velocity to 5. So that was pretty cool. Like I didn't have to make sure that was set up properly, but that meant that like it was very flexible in the order that things could be set up or created. And also I didn't have to do checks all the time. Like, hey, if we already have a physics, then get that. Otherwise, create a physics and then, set the velocity or whatever. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, why are we failing to index this? Is it because maybe is there a way for us to get the user type data? Maybe the problem is that the user type data is like being completely stripped or something. That's a good question. Like whenever it was saying index, I didn't really know what it meant at first, but now I kind of understand. Maybe I should join the Soul community. Oh, whoops. There we go. Joined it. Welcome, general, repo, brag, announcement. Cool. Brag. Yeah, I'll ask on the Discord and hopefully we can get a response of like what's going on. At least we're able to figure that out. Because my associate function was returning the header and that's where it was breaking, but as soon as we don't use that get object, it works. So it's something about getting the object or making the object. What? Yeah. I'll ask. Anyways, I'm gonna call it a stream there. I'm pretty low energy today. Just gonna take the rest of the evening off. But I'll be back tomorrow. Try to recuperate some. Tomorrow we're going to be doing a recap video and working on Dig for about 2 hours, and then I'm going to really try to force myself to switch over to Kriya and start working on that after like 10 a.m. So 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. will be the projectDIG stream section or portion of the stream, and then after that will be Kriya. And we'll be doing that for a while since I have an update that I need to release in the next month or so. So yeah, thanks guys for joining. I appreciate it. I hope you have a good rest of your Sunday afternoon. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.